Hi. Oh, yo. Same drills this morning. Do you think I can finish this page? 4 panels. And they aren't crazy. I got the crazy one done. So yeah. I don't know. I got my headphones and I might throw a little music on in the background. You guys won't be able to hear it while I'm working. And then I'll just be checking chat. Definitely a chill little thing. Caleb, maybe it's time for your cyberbullying session. How's it going? If you backed Earthbound or not Earthbound Hotel Story, put away $1 a week because it's going to be open for 4 months. So yeah, maybe put away $2 a week and you can back it on the last day or back it right now. He goes 1v1. Have you seen the Reddit post that says roast me? I'd be scared to do one of those, but maybe I should. That would be like a stretch goal. Stretch goal. If Hotel Story reaches 25K, I'll post on Reddit the roast me boards and I'll get roasted. But you got Grand Prix today. Got the catch-up tier. Sweet. So you got Earthbound 1, 2, and Grand Prix. That's badass, man. Earthbound 1 and 2 are really cool because it's a complete and total story. And it's long. And so there's pretty good like characters and emotion and stuff like that. Dele, what's up, man? What's up? 5 people in here. This is much like this morning stream, just kind of checking in on Hotel Story, just reminding people that it's out there. This is day 2, and we're approaching eight grand, which is great. Yeah, I'll breathe a little sigh of relief when we hit 10K. I'll breathe even more sigh of relief when we hit 20, which we will at some point. 20, I'm pretty sure we'll hit in the 4 months, like guaranteed, but it could take the whole 4 months. And then I don't know, like 30 or 40 is possible. But you just don't know. 40 is the gravy. That's like everything going smooth, got money to reinvest back. 30 is pretty gravy too. 20's bare minimum gravy. Still it's still the wheels keep rolling at 20. And even 10 is like yeah. Romy, what's up? But yeah, we'll see how many. I wonder what the total backer number will be in the end. Like I've had books with 1,200 backers. That was Earthbound 2. And then Earthbound 2 sold a lot since then. So Earthbound 2 might be my best selling book. It might be 14 or 1,500 total now. But Nosferatu did 900. Then there's been a little dip, but some of that's because of shorter campaigns this year too. So a lot of these books there's still a demand for, like Cerberus, and even the Shorts Compendium were around 500, 600. And so this one I'm really hoping for at least 600 sales. I want 600 readers. This is a 124-page book. You guys are going to love it. It's amazing. It is though. I feel more comfortable. I said this before, but I feel more comfortable heaping on praise for it because I'm not the artist and I only co-wrote it. So it's like Jared, and Jared's basically a creative genius. A lot of fun to work with. Very interesting fellow. Maromi, Grand Prix in my mailbox. Sweet. Nice, dude. Let me know what you think of the plot or what the story, the comic. What's up? NTM, Noah, what's up, man? All right. So, hold on. Maybe I'll chug some water out of a gallon. Okay. Sometimes I don't listen to actual straight up regular music very often. So it's kind of more like a drug for me. Like I might listen to actual music like 2 hours a week max, maybe less. and so it does pump me up. I can listen to it. It'll pump me up late at night. So I'm gonna throw on a little, even though what I'm throwing on is like folksy gee stuff, but it's still sweet. Auto tune folk. That's like a subgenre. Or what's up? Daily, Jared needs a huge fan base. It'll grow pretty fast. Like people, immediately, but then it'll be confirmed when you get the books and see how great it is. I think people are going to really like the Oval, and then Jared will be able to like do like a bigger solo project if he wants. But I'll pretty much always publish his stuff if he wants to do it that way, and we'll just figure out a deal. I wouldn't take half if it was like all I'm doing is publishing it. Then I might, if I'm fulfilling it, I might pay myself fairly for that. I don't know what the percentage, maybe a third. If you take like, if I publish someone, they make the comic completely, but I put it on my Indiegogo, fulfill it, print it, and fulfill it. Maybe a third. I don't know. Okay, let's put on some. I wonder if I could like try and go fast. Okay, that sketch looks good. I'm gonna uh, I'm gonna make that merge. Ooh, just got a panel, and that only took 1 second. What else can we do? Let's do Amelia. Here's her sipping her glass. It's already a hard drawing. Holding a wine glass is hard. We hold it delicately. And the thing is, the weights. I mean, that gesture looks correct, but then I just got to like figure out. I might just leave it with the weird and ovals because it reads okay. No. One weird thing is like if you zoom in, it looks weird, but if you zoom out, it looks good. That's like a lot of my drawings are like that. Pinky's kind of can ball up real, this little knob, kind of claw. And flip it. Cool. Looks okay. Let's delicately ink her face. It might be, this is the problem. She might be tipped more back. Well, that looks like a sip, kind of. because she's not chugging. She's not a chugger. There. Looking at the bottom of a glass. Hmm. Oops. Forehead's a little high there. Okay. She looks a little more cartoony here. I sometimes draw her. It's weird. It's like sort of depending on how much I'm warmed up, I can draw, and sometimes they look like a little more, I guess, realistic. I don't know. Like that's her. That's the same person. Um, where's another page of well, but it does. It's totally the same person. So I think I'm not going to sweat it too much. I've realized I do like the collage feel of switching styles a little bit. I do it a lot in well, manga does it, where they switch chibi and it's squash and stretch, like even squashing between realistic and like SpongeBob does it. They'll do close-ups where it gets realistic. Ren and Stimpy. So I count that as like collage, and I've been into collage. I've been like, that's my word. Um, I think it adds a little bit to the interactivity. So what if I try a different nose? Pokey. See, this is the other problem is I can go down these rabbit holes where I end up drawing their face for hours and or days, and I don't want to do that. And it does. The problem. It doesn't always even like look better after doing that. So yeah, this is a good little sip drawing, if I do say so. Now what's this other hand doing? I think it's under the table. What can this be? A little some loaf of bread type shape. The A lot of the food is like shapes and jumbles. Not too worried. But they do have their main course. It's a monkey with its brain sticking out. The monkey will be facing her. See that level of being able to erase is so much more um, useful in digital. Like you can't do that and it spoils you kind of thing. Some there something in the foreground, maybe? I could do like a big glass in the foreground. Raw. I mean, if it were like an animation, I would. I do it on another layer and you move the camera slightly so it slides across the front and then you can still see her, but it's like that actually that does read. And I'll probably color that a little darker because it's foreground. And then the sumo guy's right next to her and he has these weird tattoos. Oh, I'm not a fan of tattoos unless if I just spent some time to actually memorize them. But is her neck need to be longer? Dilly says, "Dat neck." No, it could be longer, yo. Oops. I think that's gonna work. Maybe her. See, then her eyes are like they're like almost too big. That makes it a little cartoony. If we look at, but I think it's fine. We'll leave it. Maybe I'll experiment shrinking them. That's when I go down the rabbit hole, though. If I wanna. Oh, yeah, she has. Sip. I think is the caveman, or sorry, not caveman, the big ogre guy in the background here. I think so. So much continuity to double check. I end up redrawing a lot because I'll get it wrong because it's kind of a distraction when I'm drawing. I'm like I'm not gonna always double check. I'll just guess. And he's in the background, so I can draw him out of focus, which means just blobs. And I won't actually make it out of focus, but it kind of reads that way. Okay, let's save. This panel has a lot of characters. Might save it for last. No, we'll do it. Here's the pirate. He could have a uh, what's it called? Plumber pants. You ever done plumber pants? Where if you ever have it or seen someone with it, where their butt cracks showing because their pants are sagging, and then people always dropped pencils in the crack. I don't know if you've ever seen that. So I could draw a pencil in there like this. That's so stupid. Okay. Here's Julia. And she's all their heads are away from the camera, so in some ways it's a little easier to draw. And that's literally getting that ear right just to get the angle. Mm. I'm leaving that butt crack for now. Might mess with it later. I have and the Xena Warrior Princess girl. She's more cartoony though. Cartoony Xena. Armored breastplate. Badger guy who looks weird. Like I drew him. And then I got to draw the other side of the table. Should I draw the guy talking? Can they see him? Or I think so. Where is spotting where the... I will have to look at it again. Where these flippin' ogres are. Okay. So there's an ogre like right here. We'll see his full body, I think. He will be out of focus. And it's a little bit, he's so big, it's like 3-point perspective a little bit. Like, Lumber's Crack Attack. Hey, we're getting a couple sales. Anyone popping in here and back, and thank you very much for backing Hotel Story. That book is a lot of fun. I can't wait for it to be released. That's one I kind of feel too, like, I do feel like it has a more easy path of destiny to eventually be a movie, just because it's so like packaged already so tight. Whereas like Earthbound would be kind of hard to sell because it's so crazy. Even though that one would be awesome too, and it's kind of simple in its own way. Because that's a weird thing about movies; they got to be a little more simple than you might think. A lot of times they're almost like short stories that just get expanded. But I don't know. On the flip side of that too, the other interesting thing is I learned this writing Hotel Story with Jared. I kind of told him like the script's 100 pages. I'm like, to fit 100 pages, you can literally do pretty much anything you want, everything you want, and it'll be like it'll all fit in there. So anything our heart desires, we can write it in. And then the structure is getting a lot of that, like the ebbs and flows and the little mini climaxes and stuff to feel good, to feel like it's constantly escalating. Usually the stakes, you kind of want the stakes. You want the badassness to be escalating, kind of the revelations, the knowledge that the that's like available to the audience, that has to almost go exponentially, which is interesting because the exponential escalation is what makes it feel like acceleration, which is funny. This metaphor applies to cars, but it's like true with storytelling too. It actually doesn't matter how fast you're going because what we feel is acceleration. So that's what you do. You go from 0 to 100, feels way better than starting at 100 and maybe you don't speed up at all, or say start at 150 even, but you never speed up, then the audience won't feel anything. So it's all about organizing that, and if you can get a package within that that like contains that kind of stuff, but it's also super simple. Like this one is that, then it usually can be like a perfect movie, perfect with quotes around it, like so as far as execution of the actual movie, um I don't know. What I was going to say about perfect. There's like movies will have a perfection ceiling, and there's more perfect movies than you might think. I think like it doesn't, like a movie could be a perfect movie and still get like a 6 out of 10 maybe, but that would be like maybe all perfect movies might be like at least a 8 out of 10. But I'm trying to think of what a perfect movie is that's not even necessarily that good, or an imperfect movie could be a 9 out of 10 if it's like super amazing or whatever. So perfection is kind of weird. It doesn't even matter that much, but you can zone in on that, the simple container. And in that case of Hotel Story, it's um the witch Salome casts a mass sacrifice spell from the top floor suite of Hotel Constantinople. Dun, 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 dun. Daily, I didn't even realize Monica did the cover until I saw the tweet. It really emulates the interior art style well. That's cool. Yeah, I know. Yeah, she drew Jared's designs perfectly, and it's really fun. Delay, back or be whack. Thanks for posting the links, guys. Thanks for supporting. I think I'm going to pitch to Jared that we do a little bit of original art to sell too, and probably not too expensive because we're both relatively untested in those waters. Maybe 120 to 150. We might each do two, so maybe not even that much, but just give the campaign a little mini boost in the middle. Snuggy Jr., what's up, man? How's it going? Drawing some Earthbound Grand Prix. Okay, so what I got to do is draw the flippin' other side of the table. So we have our giant banana. Spoilers, there's a giant banana on the table. It's been sliced up and distributed, but it would actually be like this, kind of. Then a lot of little bananas. So that covers, I don't have to draw everyone. And I think here's Blogart. There's this little mustache. Can you guys see Blogart's mustache? Look at that. Look at that guy. He's so cute. What should be? I don't want too many details because this is really small on the page. That's his glass he might be holding. He'll just have a club. I won't even draw his fingers. Draw a thumb. And that's almost a tangent, but maybe it's okay. Banana. Amelia would be like right here, so we don't have to draw her. Who goes next to Amelia? Do we have these pages to check? I think it's one extra random little guy, and then it's the big poisonous badass dude. So that little rat guy. I don't even have his design fully yet. I think he might just literally be kind of a weirdo. Like that. I might need to literally design something for him actually, because that is a little lazy. Oh yeah, someone said Tremors. Yeah, Tremors is perfect. So Tremors is a perfect movie, but it's not as good as The Godfather. But I don't know if you'd say The Godfather like that. You could say that's perfect too, but you could pick what's like an imperfect movie. See, a lot of movies are sort of perfect for what they are. Like a lot of ones that you need, a lot of ones that I like. Like I was gonna be like Braveheart. It's perfect. Well, it's kind of funny. Like I think even Titanic technically is perfect, except you're right, except for the end when he's floating on the door, and there seems to be room for both of them. Unless maybe there's a way that could be still considered perfect because it adds even more like tragedy and discussion and thought and hauntingness. What? Maybe I can design this guy right now. What could he be? He's got to be like a little puppet style dude. He could be like maybe. Oh, it's like almost too much to make him a one-eyed dude. Maybe. Oh, dude, the big nose and the. If he's just like Mog, is it Mog from FF7? I get freaking. That's awesome. Would I get sued for that? Is that what Mog looks like? Is his name Mog? I forget. Sorry, it's FF6. I'm searching Mog. Yeah, he comes up. Oh, that is what Mog looks like. Dude, he's the greatest. Mortal V. FF6, you fake geek girl. Sorry. I know it was 6. Alex Wither. Leonardo DiCaprio is playing Blogart in the movie, so Narwhal has to use him economically. That's funny. I have some DiCaprio hot takes ish. One of them is I've said this recently, so you guys might have already heard it, but I think he's the most memed actor and therefore is the best actor. I think whoever is the most memed actor is the best actor. And when I said that, immediately people were like, no, Nicolas Cage is the most memed actor. And like, well, he's also a nominee for the best actor. But I haven't seen that many Nick Cage memes, even though he's like the bees and stuff. But all his overacting, and a lot of it's great. Overacting is awesome. Um, but it's not. A lot of it doesn't get memed. It's just there, and people are like, "Dude, that acting's awesome," but it doesn't actually become a meme. Richard Hale, Braveheart isn't perfect when you notice the rubber weapons wobbling in the final shot. Yeah, that could be a little something. Mm-hmm. Okay, so giving Mog this little head thing is too much. I could get sued. What can I give him? Can I give him something? A mohawk? Oh my god. That's like so stupid though. But it's so awesome. Problem is if you make it too awesome, people will be like, dude, what's his deal? What's his deal? He's just in the background. Give him some lines, give him a speaking line. And then you're like, well, I gotta keep track of him, and if he dies, he has to have a hero's death. If I kill him, people are like, why'd you kill him? You son of a bitch. You don't give him anything to do, and people are like, give him something to do. You have headphones? No. You have, I don't know. Don't want it to be too crazy. I'm wasting time on this stupid fella. Kind of like when eyes break. That's a puppet thing when they break the silhouette, like Cookie Monster. Maybe he could just be like that. All right, that's like ridiculous, but we're leaving that for now. And then we got the badass. Should he be eating still out of his hand? Oh no, what did I say? This guy's got freaking handcuffs on still. Okay, so yeah, he's eating out of his handcuffed hands. Going for the gesture first. And I'll make those handcuffs glow. He's kind of like a walking shark kind of dude a little bit. He scooped his brain out from the monkey. And I think he might just have like no shirt, I think. Yo, I think we drew that whole freaking panel. Nice. All right, one more panel, and then that would be a good day's work if I get a page and a half of these really lots of people on these pages. It's funny. It doesn't. It's I don't know. It's like if I stay focused, I could do this. Well, this panel, it's already have the base because even that takes kind of some time to get all the underdrawing, even though it's so loose. And these pages already have that, so I'm just jumping in and kind of drawing over it. This is one thing I like about comics, though. This is could be considered a narwhal trick of the trade, as I change scenes on the same page all the time. Like this right here, this is a completely different scene. It's changing, and I think it continues like voiceover from this scene plays voiceover as a dialogue narration box on this panel. But that's just like one thing I do is I hop back and forth wherever I want on the same page. Like that's like for some reason I like that a lot. I think that kind of helps with the pacing. I heard they say with sometimes with screenplays, they say a scene should be about 3 pages. And yeah, it's like even in comics, unless it's like a big set piece, like this meal is kind of a set piece, and it ends up degrading into a kind of violent form of a food fight with like a little bit of realistic stakes mixed in with some of the goofiness or whatever. Um, and so the whole scene is like maybe 16 or more pages. But then within that, you're popping around, like you're popping into other scenes to breaking it up to show, checking in on other stuff that's happening elsewhere. But it's like, yeah, like in comics, having a scene be anywhere from one page is even great, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page is okay. 4 page is getting a little bit long. And then if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, that's when it better be like a set piece or a climax or a fight that deserves that many pages. But if you keep those scenes pretty quick, then it reads pretty well. And then if the script has an opportunity to hop around, that's like just having a B plot alone, that alone will do it, and you can just check in. But you want to make sure there's good shit happening whenever you're checking in. Oh, Mortal V says just a general Moogle, but I feel like you could get sued for that too. Not that they would. I mean, I don't know if they would sue, but or I'd be like, even this guy, I could get sued for Cookie Monster. He looks a little too ridiculous, but he stays for now. I like this guy, but I don't have a front drawing of him. He's got buck teeth and he's kind of a badger kind of guy. There's a little more like talking animal kind of stuff in Grand Prix because that's kind of a good way to design aliens is just kind of furries because it's badass. Like a giant talking lion. Like I draw that there's a character that looks like that in this. 18 people watching. How's it going, everyone? 18 people. Of those 18, how many of you are bots? And if you're real, have you backed Hotel Story yet? Consider it. Put away $2 a week and get it. 124-page full story. Get some narwhal goodness on your bookshelf. It will age like fine wine and be a good thing you can read yearly. Caleb Riddle says, bot. Snuggy Jr. There's 26 letters. That's a lot of plots. Yeah. I was wondering a little bit of like what's the max? Grand Prix actually maxes out on characters. So I was counting, you can even do this, like pick a movie and count the characters. Usually it's like of like even like speaking roles. Speaking roles, it might get up there to like 16 or whatever, maybe 12. But then like main roles, it's usually 8 or less. And this is a generalization, but you'd be surprised. A lot of movies. And then my scripts are kind of like that too. But Grand Prix is like 20, I think, characters. There's no way that the audience is going to be able to like memorize their names or whatever. So definitely give them all iconic designs so they can tell them apart, which it helps if they're aliens. Mortal V, I knew it. I always knew that you were just the most advanced porn bot ever. We need to capture him and dissect him, if you catch my drift. We need to see what makes him tick. That's a plot right there. That would be funny if, AI learns from like search engines supposedly or whatever, like the internet in general. Just the smartest AI just ends up being the porn AI. Uh, yeah. Big Gulp says, I have yet but will. Nice, both. I know he means haven't, pretty sure. Julie Pascal, I'm not a bot. Have not bought but will promise. Thanks, Julie. Julie, you back pretty much all my stuff. Did you back? It's okay if you didn't, because you always catch up, I'm sure too. And even then, it's okay. But did you get Grand Prix, and has it arrived yet? I'm wondering if it arrived for you. Joseph and Cannonball Run had a bunch of characters. Yeah, I'd be curious to count them. Like I feel like, you know, 20 is really high, but if there might be something with like 40 or whatever, that'd be just so crazy. Imagine if you have like 40, movies could be 90 minutes to 2 hours. That's like 2 to 3 minutes per character just for the whole movie. They might share some scenes together, but then like who's talking, even that. Snuggie Jr., I haven't gotten mine yet. Snuggie, are you in America? Uh, so if you still haven't got it by next week, Snuggie, hit me up and I'll just send another. Crystal, what's up? Julie, I think that it may have done, but I'm still halfway moved from New Mexico to Texas, so everything is in boxes. Okay, cool. 1 second here. I've been down some big rabbit holes on YouTube lately, and it messed with my algorithm. So the YouTube, it's basically like nature channel shit, like biology. Like it was started with spiders, and I think I might have sort of cured my arachnophobia. My whole life, even and I've freaking hated spiders, and they disgust me. And looking at them, I used to have a recurring nightmare that there was like millions of spiders everywhere. So everywhere you walked, you'd be stepping on them, and if you touched anything, you'd be touching them. Like, and that was like a recurring nightmare as a kid. So yeah, never liked spiders, but just learning about them might have cured it. I had to watch like 6 hours of spider content of people just talking about how cool they are. But the one that the gateway drug for liking spiders is the jumping spider, because it has two huge eyes and you can't even see its other six eyes really. You just see those. So it actually looks kind of cute. And then it's got its little they aren't even fangs. I forget what they call them, like petulas or something like that. And yeah, they're actually really smart too, and they're just, and they never bite because they're smart. They never bite humans. I mean, maybe they would randomly, but and it doesn't hurt that bad if they do or whatever. A lot of bites, they say they're not as big a deal as you think. Um, Even some of the scarier spiders, they're like it's not that big a deal. And there's one they were talking about. So the second gateway is the wolf spider, which is freaking terrifying looking. Except it has the two big eyes too. So it actually, when you look close, you kind of see that soul in those two big eyes, and they're also pretty smart. So yeah, they don't really bite that much, knock on wood or whatever. But it seems like, yeah, they don't. really bite humans. But if they ever do, because it does happen, and the thing is, they would if like you reach into something and you accidentally half squish them. That's like their defense mechanism is to bite you. But that sometimes will just be a dry bite. Even they say where they're not even trying to hit you with the juice or whatever. But they say wolf spiders is like a bee sting, like it really hurts, but it doesn't do anything to you other than that. And but they're like gargantuan, but they are like really nice actually for like what they hunt and the fact that they really don't bite you. So from now on, I totally am not going to fuck with them. Even in my house, I might. But the thing is, I saw one like a month ago, maybe even less, like 3 weeks ago. Pretty sure it was a wolf spider now in hindsight. It was one of the biggest spiders I've ever seen in my life. It was in my house. I flip on the hallway light to go to the bathroom to go to bed, to like piss before bed or whatever. And the it was right on the wall, like 3 feet away from me. And he didn't even move. And I like lined up, I grabbed a broom, lined it up, I had huge adrenaline, kind of really scared. But I whacked him super hard, almost put a hole in the wall with the broom because I knew I had to hit him with the plastic part. So I had to even make sure I lined it up. And I feel so guilty now because now that I like spiders, kind of like, oh, I murdered a freaking spider. And I told that because even then I felt a little guilty. I was like, I don't know if I should be just because I'm scared of them. That was a majestic creature and I just murdered it. But the one funny things you can tell yourself to console yourself or whatever, like mind games. But one of my friends was like, well, the fact it was so big meaned it lived a good life. And the other crazy thing is spiders don't live that long, compared to us. They live, and I think this is part of the plot of Charlotte's Web. I forgot about this. So there is media that'll make you kind of like spiders. I heard there's a famous one now called Lucas the Spider, and it's about jumping spiders, but it's like a cartoon for kids. And part of that helps them get over spiders. But Charlotte's Web was a great story, but I kind of forget. But I think I remember she dies in the end because they only live for about a year. Spiders do. Um, and some of them live a little bit longer, like 2 or 3. So I'll see some of these videos and they're like tear jerkers. I can't believe it. But one of them was like, it's the freaking dodo will come up, the dodo. But so my algorithm is busted though. I'm kind of annoyed now because it's all animal shit. And I'm like, okay, I like animals, but they're like 2-minute videos too. So these weren't ones where I'll click and I'll actually watch them. Whereas I like long videos I just put on in the background. I'll do gaming a lot. I'll just throw it on in the background. And I still do that, but it's like recommending less. Um, but yeah, there was a video on the dodo about a woman who became friends with a jumping spider, and she had filmed their year together and how it had gotten and really warmed up to her. And there was all this footage with macro lenses because you can get like an extension on your iPhone to be able to do that, to do the really close up type photography. So nice photography of this cool jumping spider just hanging out with her. And then she's like, yeah, and they only lived for a year. So the day she died was really sad. I was like, what? You befriend this spider and then they just die? And I'm like, man, a year is a long time to build a connection with something. And a cute little spider would be like kind of meaningful. And then the fact they die every year, because I was even thinking about getting a jumping spider pet, like, or I was thinking about, because they're around, I was thinking about just like looking for one in my, and I would even feel bad like taking it inside and putting it in a jar. But I think one of these days when I got some free time, I'm gonna go looking for jumping spiders around the neighborhood or just in my backyard or whatever. Um, but yeah, that was definitely really sad. And there was one in the comments too talking about that like someone had kind of, because you can kind of make them pets without putting them in a jar. If they're in your house, you can feed them, you can just drop shit in their web. And there's some YouTube videos about that with like, I think it might be a wolf spider, but there's a guy just feeding this gargantuan spider and filming it, and it's like his pet. But it's kind of cool, but that only lasts for, it's crazy, it only lasts for like a year. It's like just long enough to get like serious connection, and then like that cycle is almost too fast. That's what made me hesitate. Like with dogs it's like 15 years, and then you got to go through the pain or whatever, and then you think about getting another maybe. Take Benadryl or cream for brown, like orally. You're saying like not rubbing it on the wound. There are brown recluses around here, and they're obviously terrible, you know. But even them, they say they don't bite unless you mess with them. And again, it is like an unlucky thing. Like if they're in a shoe or whatever, you put your foot in it, that kind of shit does happen, and then they will bite you if that happens. But that I saw one video and the guy's like, he's like all the horror photos that they show of the brown recluse bites where it's rotting and whatever. They're like, that's actually not really what happens. That's like with if it gets infected and a staph infection happens or whatever. It's like a phase 2 kind of thing, which is a danger. But then they take a picture of that and like that happens to a certain percentage, but that's almost like user error on the human's part for not cleaning it correctly after you get bit. Then that can kind of happen, but even then, not that much. And but it can happen, and then you have those terrible photos that look ridiculous. But the actual bite is, if that doesn't happen, is not that insane. Um, Romy, always check the shoes. Richard K, you got to delete them from your history to fix the algorithm. Yeah, or you can say like, I'm not interested in this, but then it doesn't do any. And I'm like, I don't want them to know that I hate watching or to think that I hate watching animal videos. But yeah, so spiders, but then it ended up being like almost everything. I've been watching a lot of shark stuff, alligator stuff, snapping turtles, spiders, tarantulas, millipedes. But it's pretty fun. But it is a little bit like this the ways that it could apply to a story, they're there, but it's not that necessarily useful. The stuff that feels really useful if you're trying to just build like a baseline knowledge to have some knowledge that helps you think of ideas to tell stories. History is a great one, um, but a little bit of everything, you know. So I'd like maybe I'm in a biology phase, but history is great. Fairy tales are great, and maybe some biology type stuff. Maromi's, yeah, the volcano, nice. Yeah, it's funny that shit, but it's funny the algorithm how it is, and I guess they kind of know. Like if I keep scrolling, they'll include like some of my old stuff, but I'm like, it almost feels a little bit too much like TikTok or something. Like just because I watch the odd spider video does not mean I want a million spider videos or whatever. Yeah. So let me see real quick. What do we got? All right, I'm gonna bust out this last panel because I said I would. Everyone think about hotel story though. I just talked randomly about spiders for 15 minutes. What was I gonna do too? I have some music on in the background. I'll continue it. I paused it while I was talking about spiders. So this pose from these scribbles, they're both someone's talking like way off screen over here. And you know what? When you're at a table and they're at the other end, you got to either lean forward to see him or lean back. So I want him either leaning back and her leaning forward. I think he's leaning forward. He's got suspenders. This arm's a little foreshortened. We're going to try and it's going to be a little bit hard to draw. Yeah, that kind of looks sort of correct. Drawing her skull. You're thinking, the head at that angle, like here's that line where her eyes would be. I'm just drawing one eye, the other one's blocked by the nose. Just drawing it really vertical. Maybe now the digital trick is I could drag it back just a little bit. And we might actually see her eye here. Mm, that kind of looks okay, maybe. Mm. She looks a little bit broad-shouldered, but maybe I'm okay with it. And then I think Robot Boy here, Xerox. Only problem is he's smaller. And this guy. Same thing. Very accentuated head tilt. Got kind of a round head and a big nose. He's got these mustaches. Nips, earrings. I could give him nip tassels. Is that weird? Yes. Nip rings. That would be cool. That's hilarious. It's called character detail. Nip rings. 1 second. Okay, now all I gotta do is draw maybe a background character. I've been drawing these servants. There's 2 designs, kind of a male and a female. The male have these like kind of like halo masks. They just look like that. But do you want to draw them in perspective too? But I think that is. Put it on another layer. They've got their monkey heads. There's also soup, like veg tofu floating in it, kind of thing. There's her monkey head. Little 3-point perspective. Getting these glasses, like, you know. This is like the unopened plate. Some fruits and bananas. Might take a little cleanup on that. But it's kind of just food, you know, so. Then what we got to do is look at just that layer. Some of those overlaps. That almost looks good enough. Then delete that. Maybe we'll make this layer a little thicker because it's merged down. Nice. Then, as long as we got these layers open, let's pull out the negative space. All right. Cool. Looks like we're getting it. I think I want to. Here's our boys all sitting at the table. Yeah, looks okay to me. But yeah, so it's not colored yet, but you can kind of see this last panel changing the scene. It already feels good. I really like that when multiple scenes on one page. It's like choo 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 choo, boom, boom. Cool. The stages are getting set. Yeah. Yeah, with Grand Prix part 1, which is fulfilling now and people can read it, they are reading it. It's kind of all setting the stage, and I was a little self-conscious about that, but it's so fun. Just even setting the stage is like a lot of fun. But I am really looking forward to part 2 and 3. um there's a lot of kind of fun. It's kind of like, I guess you could say, emotion type, kind of like it's like friendships and stuff that are like really fun. um so I think, but there's 6 parts total. Part 1, 2, 3, that's all like pretty great stuff. And then parts 4, 5, 6 is like one long action scene. So, and that'll be good too, slash almost better, or it does build, and then it has all the context and built up of the emotions from part 1, 2, 3. But 1, 2, 3, I think are going to hook people. I think by the end of third, especially, I'll have everyone. I think everyone's going to love it. They'll be really wanting part 4. Even part 2 might get that straight up. So, Daily bedtime. Peace out. Back hotel story. Thanks, Dale. Um, I'm gonna wrap up the stream in a second. Just hanging out for a little bit. Let me see what we got. Yeah, we see what's up. 1 second. Yeah. I wonder if I can try and bust out another page tonight. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. But what if I did it? What if I just chugged a pot of coffee and did that? I have done that before, but then the problem is it does mess up your shit the next day. But that's okay. I don't know. But I am going to wrap up this stream. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Got a few more sales in Hotel Story. If you're not a bot, bots are welcome, but they're welcome here. But nevertheless, you must not be a bot to back it. If you're not a bot, consider backing Hotel Story. But yeah, cool. I'll catch everyone later. Thanks so much. See ya.